Hey, bitches. It's me again, still in the weird setup, but it is daytime now, so that's amazing, but it's still too cold upstairs and I refuse to sit there, so. This one I think is going to be a bit shorter than the one I did yesterday, which, is a very abstract, play on words if you don't really watch my videos whenever they come out, but I am, for a little bit of context, if you're watching this video, this is part of a series, a series where I am kind of sort of returning to my all-time favorites that I may or may not have pushed to the side a little bit because I got caught up in all the glitz and the glam of all the modern decks. And this is one of them. The Mary L Tarot by Mary White. This is my first edition. I probably got one of the last first editions that were available because I was pretty late to the game. And the one I did get had an extremely dented box. But you know what? It wasn't even that bad. And the cards were all there. And yeah, I'll never get rid of this edition of this deck. The reason why I felt it timely to talk about this deck is because I'm actually getting the second edition in later. Because I've used this so much that some of the, I don't even know if I can show it well. I'm not necessarily gonna focus on it though. I have to be honest about that because I don't want to, but some of the, this is very heavily glossy, very glossy laminated. Schiffer cards have extreme... Schiffer, this is still from back when it was Schiffer, as you can tell by the little logo right here. Schiffer Red Feather was/is known for being, I think, the publishing house, Tarot Oracle publishing house with probably the most interesting decks on the market, with the most depth, the most substance, always trying something new, always pushing the boundaries. So I feel like that's what they're kind of known for. Not necessarily the prettiest decks, but definitely boundary pushing decks. But they're also known for horrible, I mean, the card stock isn't even that bad. Well, it's not great, but it's not that bad. But it's more like the gloss, and it's gloss that is sometimes so thick and so shiny that the cards are literally stuck together because, obviously the publishers want the most bang for their buck, so they kind of pressure the printers, so the printers hurry a little bit too much, and maybe the ink hasn't dried completely, and we still stack the cards in the box, blah blah blah. And then they stick together, or the gilding isn't done correctly, so the gilding is the thing that's sticking together. There's always with every Schiffer deck I've ever had, except for one, which will also be in this series, there has been an issue. And I noticed that some of the gloss lamination started chipping off. And I don't want to damage this edition too much because this edition features art that is omitted and changed for the second edition. So I don't want to mess this deck up. I love this card, by the way, this Four of Swords. When I saw this deck for the first time, and I really hope that, let's see if we can actually find the card that, no, it's not here. Whatever. This deck came into my life when I barely knew anything about tarot. Look, you can kind of see. I don't know if you can see, but there's weird, something weird is going on with the lamination. It's almost like it's deteriorating over here. Do you see that little spot? So there's weird scuffs and everything. Sorry. So this deck came into my life when I barely knew, I was just fluent in tarot, and I wasn't that amazing, and, it was very blah, 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 blah. This is one of the cards that got changed, by the way, for the second edition, which is such a shame because this is one of my faves, but hey, what gives? But I saw, I saw the art. I saw that it was of tremendous quality. And I also saw a very potent masculine energy emanating from the cards. And I couldn't explain why or how, but cards like this made me think such potent, brazen display of masculinity in a tarot deck. And that's also the reason why this is not for a lot of people. Even though I think this is probably the greatest deck to have come out the last century. A lot of people like to disagree because this is not necessarily in the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. It's very numerological, very thothy. It's not Rider-Waite-Smith at all. And yeah, it's very phallic. But it's also gorgeous. Like, this is probably the most gorgeous card ever. And especially the way the pip cards are designed and how it's so numerological. And the explanations for it in the guidebook. Literally, when I saw the deck in full, made me feel like this was fucking made for me. This deck was created for me. That's what, and it was the first time that I had, not the last time, but probably the most potent time I've ever felt that. And it's so bold in its use of colors. I love the Tower, and I think Mary White is an amazing artist. The guidebook is really, 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 it's not super duper thick. It's annoying because it's one of those horizontal guidebooks that has like multiple pages on one page. I don't like that. But the cards is, let me read to you what it says for the Queen of Discs. Because there's a lot, it's a lot. Like, this is an esoteric deck. This is an occult deck. Hathor means House of Horus. She also appears in the Nine of Swords, where she is the embodiment of eternity. The earth is eternity, and is eternity made material and flesh, and containing within it divine life force, Horus. The origins of Hathor go back before history into the Aeon of Taurus, where the bull's horns held the disk of the sun, the same symbol as Hathor's crown. In some stories, Hathor, as the cow, swallowed the sun at night to keep it safe. A common story throughout the ancient world, and in the queens, who are each houses of their element. Hathor was the goddess of all women, motherhood, joy, childbirth, and love. She suckled the souls of the dead to sustain them on their journey to the underworld, just like the sun at night, or souls fallen into exile from God and the flesh. The Greeks and Romans thought diamonds were tears of the gods, pieces of stars fallen to earth, or even that they were living beings that possessed a soul. Diamond comes from the Greek word adamas, which means invincible or unconquerable. As diamonds are the hardest substance known to man, all of these things could also describe the soul and an individual person. Tears of God, fallen stars, unconquerable and strong, possessing of a soul, precious, ancient. The Queen of Discs tends to these things, providing an environment where things can grow slowly and beautifully. There's pressure too, and pruning and shaping, as with the cultured rose garden behind her. It's in her garden with all of the elements in perfect harmony that we live our lives, sustained by her milk, food, water, air, life. Gorgeous. Then you get a bunch of keywords, so that's cool if you're into that. Also for the reversed, and then you get sort of a traditional, more like Golden Dawn-y meaning, and also Golden Dawn-y reverse. So this is her interpretation of what she feels Hathor should look like, and there's tons of deities and tons of like explanations and descriptions, and It's just stunning. And all of these world cultures are in here. I love this Knight of Cups too. Look at him. So stunning. And this magician. When I saw this magician, I flipped. I completely flipped out. I was like, what is this? What even is this? And this Ace of Discs too. Like this is made for me. And also like that passage from that guidebook I just read is so amazing. It's so amazing. Do I always have the desire to read that for every card? No. But sometimes, for example, just now, it's such profound layered meaning, written beautifully. And I mean, it's very literary, all of it. But look at this hermit too. Like this 10 of discs. Look at it. And every artistic choice is explained in this book. So even if you don't get anything right away and you're kind of like, huh, what is this? Like, ew, it doesn't look like a fucking stick held by a hand. Why is this the Ace of Wands? It gets explained. And I love that. And once again, like I said, like a stunning female artist who's not afraid to display masculinity and femininity and everything in between in a way that's gorgeous but also disgusting. For example, this Hierophant is also one that's changed in the new version. I love this sort of demonic mother, sister type, nun type, suckling these two deformed, decrepit babies, who are drinking milk straight from the teat. There's so much symbolism in here. And I'm kind of curious to kind of rediscover the deck in its new iteration. So that's going to be cool. I love this star. Like every piece of art in this deck is a masterpiece. And, I use this deck for past life readings. Matter of fact, it's very good for that. Especially because of all the lore and stuff that's in the guidebook. This fool. Look at him though. This is gorgeous. When I saw this, I was like, I'm literally like gasping for air right now as I'm looking at this deck. And I have never ever had that since. I've seen cute decks. I've seen gorgeous decks. I've seen pretty decks. But I have not had this for a while. And I miss having this. I had this one more time after this deck, and it was also a Red Feather deck. And matter of fact, it's the actual deck I'm going to film a video for next. And there's also interpretations, because I keep on banging on about the masculine, but there's really dope feminine representations here too, because this is the way Mary White painted Odin, but then as a badass woman. And I love shit like that. Like, push the boundaries and write your goddamn awesome hyper occult book that leaves enough to the imagination that we can incorporate that knowledge into our lives. It's all about integration. It isn't about, I have a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I don't need 500 more. Just as I don't need another Mary L. But what I want is I want to see layers. Also, the way the deck is structured when you get it in, all the fours are next. When you lay down all the fours, the fives, when you lay them all down next to each other, you will start seeing patterns in them, and they're stunning. So all of the fours are sort of these landscapes. Stunning, right? Which to me, this does signify what Four of Discs means. Four of Discs is very much about that structure, that stability. That's what that is. And because of, various pictorial depictions of those pip cards, which made tarot way more accessible, which is super dope. It also narrowed the possible depth and meaning of that card down to one thing. Four of discs. Okay, frugality. You're sitting on your money, holding on too tightly. No, that's not what the number 4 is about. But I digress. This is probably an angel because I see an angel sigil here. Let's check out the guidebook entry for the 6 of Wands. 6 of discs, 6 of swords, 6 of wands. Sometimes there's gorgeous little poems or excerpts from books. Archangel Michael, yeah. Really, really cool. Really cool. So everything, are all the 6s angels? Let me quickly check because that would be really cool. Because 6 of Wands is Archangel Michael, 6 of Swords is Archangel Raphael, 6 of Cups is Archangel Uriel, 6 of Discs is Archangel Gabriel. I had this deck for years, never noticed that before. That's brilliant. So they're all pairs. They all go together, and I just love that. There you go, another 6. And once you start noticing little things, it's just so cool. So she doesn't necessarily... Obviously, each suit is elemental, but she doesn't necessarily see them as, the suit of swords, but it's the 6s and the 5s and the 4s. Another 6. There you go. I just love shit like that. Also the vibrancy of the art. And I'm also noticing now that this card is very off-center, so I can't wait till the 2nd edition arrives, because even though some of my favorite art in this deck got changed in that, this is, it is quality-wise probably going to be way better. I love this 8 of discs too, with the little lamb between the 2 lions, and this 5 of swords is just absolutely stunning. It's 7 of wands. I think there was something with the 7s where they were all dogs or wolves. Let me quickly check, because I found that really cool as well. Oh no, not necessarily, but there were some. Oh, the 7 of wands is a wolf. Hold up. And then the 7 of cups. Oh, 7 of cups has a long explanation. The 7 of wands is a white wolf. The 7 of swords is a raven and a serpent, but let's focus more on the raven. The 7 of cups is a black wolf or a dog, and the 7 of discs is Munin, memory. Oh, and Munin is one of the one of Odin's ravens. So that's cool. So we're sort of getting 2 dogs, 2 birds. So like I said, there's always a pattern, and it's just so cool. This 9 of cups, that baboon. Why is it there? It does give very Rider-Waite-Smithian vibes, but if you want to, you don't have to discover, but you can, and that's very nice. And the 10s are all of these horsemen of the apocalypse almost. Here, another 4, another landscape. Look at that. This is so stunning. And whenever people get very passionate about the decks they like, but whenever someone says that they hate the Marielle, it always kind of hurts me, because obviously you can dislike something, and it's the age-old debate of, literature versus pulp, but you can't tell me that the Modern Witch is a better tarot deck than the Marielle, when we already have the Rider-Waite-Smith, or when we already have the Wiser Tarot, if you will, concept of those decks is all the same. This is completely different. Look at this 4. So in this 4 of wands, we get this landscape thing where we see this tree that's on fire, but it's still standing, you know? So much to be seen in here. This Queen of Swords, come on now. This is giving me Hera. Let's see what Mary White wrote about it, but I'm getting Hera vibes. Oh, this is also about the ravens of Odin, his companions. Odin is the face in the sky. Cool. So there's lots of... The face of the Queen of Swords is here in the landscape. She's everything and each one, communicating and experiencing each other in states of Solveig Gawagala, separation and togetherness, mundanely or profanely. This queen provides an environment where one can use their minds, have ideas, think, understand, have gained knowledge. Oh, I literally want to reread that whole guidebook. Like, how gorgeous is this? The Devil, funnily enough, is like my least favorite card in the deck. I don't like it. I mean, it's good. It's gorgeous, gorgeously drawn, but I much prefer this Death card because this is probably my favorite Death card ever. I think this Queen of Wands is fierce as hell too, like, and here we are, like, this is fun. This was the reason why I knew about the deck in the first place, because not a lot of people, like, once again, this is a very niche deck. I saw this and I was like, wow, this is such an interesting interpretation of the Five of Discs. And we see this handsome man with these locks and this long beard and this void, this hole in his chest. And there's so much to see here. And also he's kind of hot. And where do I get this? And then from that, oh, this world is also so pretty. So gorgeous. Literally reminds me a little bit of Nut, the Egyptian goddess of the night. Oh, it's so pretty, so gorgeous. You know, and I have to say, like, I don't remember, because I did read the guidebook, but I usually only read guidebooks once. And I really want to reread it all now because it's literally so pretty to read about these cards. The texts are so good. After that, dreadlocky, bearded guy, that same Instagram user, I forget who it was, posted this card. And I was like, we don't see this sensual expression of masculinity in tarot ever. You know, when people say, tarot is too masculine, the Rider-Waite-Smith is like all white dudes. Yeah, but it's like, the dudes are all the dude cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith, apart from the Magician and the Fool maybe, are all the most boring cards in the deck. There's no magic about them at all. There's no mystery. There's nothing arcane about them. All the kings are frumpy, boring, basic bitches. All the queens are gorgeous and amazing. And this was the first tarot deck where the kings were at least as gorgeous and amazing as the queens were. And I wanted to see that in a deck. And that's why I finally, that's why I tracked it down and I found it at an online web store of a very small metaphysical store really far away from me. And I clicked order as fast as I could. And this changed the way I read. This is still a very long video. Look at me blabbing on, but this deck completely changed the way I read tarot, and it's just too good. It's too good. I love it. This Lovers, I mean, come on. Doesn't this make you want to cry almost, how pretty it is? I've never seen a deck this this is, for me, the be-all, end-all of tarot decks. Doesn't get any better than this. So yeah, I am I? Because I think I hear, I'm just gonna quickly check. I hear someone coming home, so I'm not gonna be doing a reading, but I am gonna thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye, bitches.